What's up, YouTube? We back. January 3rd, last football Sunday of the year. Last one for my team because I'm a Cowboys fan. We're not going anywhere near the playoffs. But we do play the Redskins today. That's our playoffs. We kick a mud hole in their ass, and I feel good about that situation. But what we're going to do today, we're going to do a smothered rabbit. I got this rabbit that I wanted to fire up for y'all. I was going to put it on the spit and roast it over some open flames. I had done that before, maybe three weeks or so back, and I somehow lost the video, and so I wasn't able to. Well, I didn't somehow lose it. When I took the video card out of the video camera, put it in my laptop to download the videos, it was corrupted. So I didn't lose it physically, but I wasn't able to retrieve them off the video card. So I lost the whole thing. It turned out really well. I was going to reproduce it, so I got another rabbit. I ended up deciding to roast this rabbit in kind of a country gravy style thing. I hadn't done it before. I thought it'd be interesting. I've been wanting to try it for a while, so I used your rabbit that I was going to put on the spit and fire roast for you to make this this kind of country smothered gravy roasted rabbit with potatoes and carrots. So either way, you're gonna get your rabbit. I'm going to let you have it. After you watch, let me know as always what you think. If you liked it, what else you would be interested in seeing. I am going to get another rabbit and do that fire roast one for you too. So just a matter of time, I'll get that out for you. All right, peace and enjoy your new year. Okay, so let's take a look at the ingredients we're going to be working with. We got a white onion there, one white onion. We got several cloves of garlic, some fresh rosemary right there. We got some bourbon, Bullet Bourbon Frontier Whiskey, straight from Kentucky. Got some beautiful red potatoes, fresh ginger, baby carrots. All right. Of course, we're gonna have a rabbit too. That's important if you can make some other rabbit. You gotta have a rabbit, right? There's our rabbit. I've already cut. This was actually a whole rabbit. I was gonna do something else with this rabbit for you, but I ended up deciding to make the smothered rabbit. So I've got 2 leg quarters here, front leg quarters. That's what you see right there. Here are those. Then I've got 2 rear leg quarters. 1, 2. You see they're definitely fatter in the front. And then you've got the body, which also has those little back straps on it. They're really good and they're meaty. All right, so there's your rabbit. Okay, all we got here is a little bit of salt and pepper. So we're going to stay basic with the seasoning. You don't have to do much. It's not complicated. Again, this is just a country style smothered thing, so you don't have to get overly exotic with your seasoning. Salt and pepper, and it's perfect. You're going to do that to both sides. Once you got both sides done, you're going straight into the frying pan with some preheated oil. I use canola. There you see that's going, and that's going to be on just a medium-low heat. You're going to get that heated up on. And what you're going to do is brown these. You don't want to fry them. You don't want to cook them all the way through. You want to brown them. You just need a couple of minutes, 2 to 3 minutes on each side on this medium-low heat. Let them pop in that oil a little bit. Turn them over frequently. Make sure they don't overcook on any one side. There you go. There you go. Alright, so I'm finishing up my last piece of rabbit here. This is the body. And again, you see that's a nice chunk of meat. We're going to get that out of the way. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, we're going to go in. We're still on medium low. We're going to go in with our onions and our garlic. We're going to get that sauteed up really good until it's translucent. So, that's their standard, probably 3.5 minutes of moving those around constantly, sauteing those. Okay? Let's get that done. Alright, we've had that going for a few minutes. Now we're going to put in a ginger. And that's the freshly ground ginger. Peeled and grated up. We're going to get us a good stir on that. Get that blended in really good. Let those flavors start to blend. We'll let those flavors of that ginger start to bleed out into the garlic and the onion. It'll all become one like great, terrific amalgam of flavor. And you can smell this now. You can't smell it, but I could. Right now it's smelling good by this point, believe me. We're going in with a little bit of what I got right there. Oh, it looks like that's last little bit of the ginger. There's a little bit left in the dish. So I scooped out the last little bit of that. And the next thing we're gonna do, we've got our fresh rosemary, and we're gonna add that to this pan of sauteing um, uh, fragrances right here. Oh, that's great. There we go. There we go. And trust me, like I said, if you're in front of this pot right now, you're smiling because it was smelling good. You know, I'm enjoying myself. I enjoy myself because I like to cook, but you know, it's popping, it's smelling good, it's looking good. Well, at least when you envision in your mind where you want to be, it seems like you're on the right road, headed in the right direction at this point. So I'm feeling good about the situation, and I hope you are too. But let's get down to this rabbit in a second. We're gonna take this out the pot, put it in the bowl, and sit it to the side, and then we're gonna get back to that in a little while. Okay? Let's move on. All right, so now we're gonna make us a basic roux, and here I've added some more canola oil to the pan. And I'm adding flour. This rabbit turned out to be really good. The gravy turned out to be really good, but I did do a couple things wrong that I don't like. And here's one of them. Well, the main thing I can point out to you: there's too much oil in that pan, and there was too much oil. Meant I ended up having to put too much flour. Too much oil, too much flour as a result, because you gotta make the more oil you got, the more flour you gotta have to make your roux. And that's what I did here. So there's too much of each. Should have been less oil. That would have resulted in less flour, and I would have gotten a better gravy out of it. And because this gravy was good, but it did have a little bit of a doughy taste, a little bit too much of a floury taste on it, and that's just a result of using too much flour. But as you can see, as you're making your roux, you're just gonna keep the stuff moving. You don't want it to burn. You see, as I just did, if it starts to get too hot, you're constantly deglazing. If it starts to get too hot, just move it off the burner. Especially if you don't have a gas stove, like I've got an electric range, it doesn't do any good just to lower the heat because the plate is still hot. So just keep your pan moving. That's what you need to do to make it happen. All right. So now I got the roux going pretty good. I've salt and peppered it as I went through. I'm going to add some bourbon now. And you can see this roux is going to react when you add this bourbon. So what you want to do is also have your chicken broth ready at this point. So we're going to add the bourbon in a little bit more. We're going to move this around a little bit. All right. And as I said, you can see it's going to react. So we're going to be ready with the broth to calm it down. That's just that alcohol cooking off. As you know, alcohol cooks a lot faster than water would or broth would or whatever. So you mix it in with that flour-based roux, and it's just bubbling and fizzing. So get some broth in there. And then we're going to go in with our mixture earlier that we had of our ginger, garlic, onion, and rosemary that we sauteed all together. All right? And that's getting you good to go for your base gravy that you're going to have your rabbit in. All right? We're adding the rest of that broth. And then as you put your rabbit in here, and we're going to do that in a second, you'll also see you're ultimately going to end up adding more water because you want your rabbit to be covered up. All right? Give me 1 second. Okay, we got it mixed up well, so let's get our rabbit added in. We got the chest piece or the torso piece we just went in with. We're going to get the legs in there. That's one of the rear leg quarters. This is going to cook down, so you'll see the consistency of this now. This gravy looks liquidy, but of course this is going to be cooking for quite a while, and it's going to cook down, and that's going to thicken up. That's why the flour's in there. So that will thicken up, and it will become a more gravy consistency. As you see now, it looks a little loose, but don't worry about that. That's how you want. If it was thick now, you wouldn't have anything because it would burn over the course of cooking. So that's not a problem for you. All right. I think we got one more leg that should be in there somewhere around here. We'll get it in the pot. All right, so there we go. It's in there, and you can see already. You can see just looking at it. I'm not stirring it right this second, but it's already appearing to be thicker than it was when I first put it in there. I don't remember at what point we are now, how long this has been cooking, but it's in there. And at some point, I don't know if I caught it on video, but you see it's not quite covered. I'm actually going to add a little water a couple of times to cover up that rabbit a little bit better, so that as it cooks, it'll be smothered completely. It'll start to cook off towards the end. Okay. So now we've had it going for a while, and then again, you look at that, and you see how rich that's starting to look. The flavors are bleeding out. You can see the flavor in the pot. You see how thicker it's getting now. It's sitting there. It's been covered, by the way. When this is simmering, it's covered. And now I'm going in with the potatoes. I'm going to go in with some carrots. So I think at the potatoes and carrots point, I'm going to say that I had this going for probably about an hour, maybe a little bit more than that, before I put the carrots and potatoes in, because I believe I did this for 2 hours total or so. And I believe it was an hour, and then I went in with the potatoes and the carrots. I gave it about another hour. All right. It looks real good though, doesn't it? It looks really good. You can't eat a rabbit, by the way, without carrots and potatoes too, but definitely carrots. Celery's always good with a rabbit, but it's just a shame. It's almost criminal to eat a rabbit without carrots. It just seems like it is. No, shouldn't be done. They all got to go together. Put them in the pot, cook it up. All right, and don't forget we got our white onion that we had as our list of ingredients, so we haven't forgotten about that. So we're gonna come with that in 1 second. We got those potatoes and the carrots pushed down in there. And then that final layer of flavor we're going to go in is with these white onions. So we're going to layer those on top. And then we're going to put this back on simmer. Alright? Looking good, YouTube. It's looking good. Plenty of onions. Never too much. You can never have too much onions. Be right back. So there you go. YouTube. Tell me that doesn't look good. It looks good, baby. That looks good. That looks good. That rabbit is happy as can be. You never seen such a happy rabbit swimming in gravy. And I'm happy for him. And matter of fact, I'm so happy we're going to put him on the plate. Let's put some on the plate and see what he looks like. You see your little potatoes sticking up out of there. You got your onions on the top. You can't really see the potatoes, but we know they're in there. You saw me put them in there. Rabbit hanging around the top. It's going to be right. Give me 1 second. Let's take a look at this plate. Alright, so let's see if we can get a little bit of something on this plate. A little bit of everything if we can. I just got some regular white rice up there. Of course, you could do whatever kind of rice you want to. Style it up however you want to do it. Do risotto. Do whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to eat your rabbit over. I just got some regular white rice today. So I'm going to go in one of those real legs. That's always my favorite piece of the rabbit to start off with. I just like it. It's really meaty. And I like the flavor of it. I'm trying to squeeze some of those onions on there. Trying to get some of those potatoes. Trying to get some of those carrots. Trying to get some of all of that on there. We're going to get a little bit of this flavor. Get some of that gravy on there. Just everything. Get in that pot and get what you can get. Get it on the plate. That's what a meal like this is about. It ain't supposed to be the prettiest meal. You ain't dressing it up. You ain't trying to sell it as a food product that's decorating the plate. It's just a homey meal. It was cold this day, I believe. I cooked this, and this is what you want. Just throw the gravy on there, throw the potatoes up there, throw the carrots up there, throw a rabbit up there, grab a fork, and get down. That's what it's all about. Right? I appreciate y'all watching all the time.